Goals are major to a genuinely success-oriented person. Without them, you're just playing around. The difference between a goal-directed individual and someone without goals is like the difference between a Wimbledon champion and a kid batting a tennis ball around on a court with no net. No opponent to bring out the best in him, and no way of keeping score. Despite everything that's been written about the importance of goal setting, very few people actually put it into practice. It's always amazed me the way the average guy puts more thought and effort into planning his 2-week vacation than he devotes to planning his life. What's he taking a vacation from? He hasn't really decided what he's trying to do in life, but for 2 weeks out of the year, he just decides he wants to do something else. And this is what he plans very carefully. Challenge creates strong character, and goals represent challenge in its most positive form. Leaders have their personal goals clearly in focus, as well as the goals of the organization. In fact, one of the principal responsibilities of leadership is defining goals for the vast majority of people who aren't able to do it for themselves. Over the years, I've developed some ideas about effective goal setting, and I'd like to share those with you in a moment. And I also want to point out some traps of goal-directed behavior that aren't usually talked about, but that certainly ought to be. When I was a kid, I used to dream what it would be like to buy a ticket on a railroad train and just go someplace. I really didn't think about where I'd be going or how long it would take to get there. I just loved the idea of getting on the train and just letting it take me someplace. I guess there's still something appealing about that idea, but it's not really the way you want to live your life as a mature human being. When you grow up, you buy a ticket on a train or a plane because you want to go someplace, and you know exactly where you're going. You may have to change planes in a different city, your flight may be canceled, and you may have to switch to another flight. You may not feel like talking to the person seated next to you, but you will persist. You know where you're headed, and you're quite determined to get there. That's goal-directed behavior in its simplest form. There are short-term goals and long-term goals. Sometimes you're flying across the country, other times you're just walking down to the corner grocery store. Long-term goals are the equivalent of a major journey. When you reach the point where you've achieved your long-term goals, your life will be fundamentally changed, and the process of getting to that point will transform you into a stronger, wiser, higher-performing person than you are now. How can you identify your long-term goals? On a sheet of paper or in a notebook, write these 5 headings. Number 1, what do I want to do? Number 2, what do I want to be? Number 3, what do I want to see? Number 4, what do I want to have? And number 5, where do I want to go? Now, under each of these categories, write down several possible long-term goals. Be very relaxed about this. Just allow your mind to flow and come up with 3 to 6 ideas for each category. Don't worry about a lot of details at this point, and don't spend too much time describing a particular goal. In category number 1, for example, what do I want to do? Suppose you want to write a book about the history of your family, going back to the arrival of your great-grandparents in the United States. Just quickly jot down family history. Then as you look down the list of categories, it occurs to you that you've always wanted to see the pyramids in Egypt, so you write pyramids. Keep writing down ideas as long as the list of categories continues to inspire you. You'll probably be surprised at some of the things that turn up. You may have kept a great many desires and aspirations hidden in the back of your mind, but the opportunity to write them down will move them to the forefront of your consciousness. That's one of the benefits of this technique. When you're satisfied with your list of long-term goals, read through the list once again. Then, beside each item, write the number of years that you believe it will take you to achieve that particular goal. It's best to round off the numbers into 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10-year categories. For example, you may estimate that it will take you 10 years to research and write the book on your family history. But you'll need only 5 years to get yourself into a position where you can take a trip to the pyramids. Create a time frame like this for every one of your long-term goals. Immediate goals, those that will take less than a year to achieve, are important too, of course, and we'll deal with those separately in a moment. When you're finished entering your time frames, there should be a fairly balanced distribution of all your goals. If there are many 1- and 3-year objectives, but only a few in the 10-year category, maybe you need to think more about what you really want your life to add up to. What kind of life you really want to build over the long run. But if there's a preponderance of 10-year goals, and relatively few of the shorter-term variety, this may be an indication that you're putting things off, that you're focused too much on where you'll be at the end of the day and not enough on what you can accomplish right now. Keep working on your list, adding and subtracting goals with various time frames until you've created a more or less even distribution. Now comes the really challenging and interesting part. So far, you've just been adding things to the list, but now it's time to start making some selections. Now you're going to start asking yourself, what's really important compared to what might just be sort of fun? Choose 4 goals from each of the 4 time frames, 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, and 10 year. Now you have 16 separate goals. So far, you've only referred to them in shorthand fashion, but now you're going to start seeing them very, very clearly in your mind's eye. You're going to see each goal just as if it were being realized this very minute. And you're going to write down a detailed description of exactly what you see. Do you intend to open a handmade furniture store in 3 years? What will the store look like from the street out front? Will there be gold leaf lettering on the windows? Or will there be a sign hanging over the door instead? How many square feet will the store contain? Will there be a showroom area for the furniture in front and a workspace in back? Or will the furniture be built at a different location? Do you intend to have any employees, or will you run the business entirely by yourself? Think of all the questions that need to be answered in order to see your goal with absolute clarity. And then write the information down in a notebook or on a piece of paper. That will become one of your most important personal possessions. But that's not all. Any goal is a powerful motivator only if there's a powerful reason behind it. Why do you want to achieve your goals? Why do you want to own a handmade furniture store, or a private airplane, or a newspaper in a small town in Vermont? Why do you want to compete in a triathlon, or visit the Australian outback, or be the first woman in your family to earn a PhD? Write down your reasons for wanting each goal in the same degree of detail that you use to write your descriptions. If you can't find a clear and convincing reason for each of your 16 goals, do some serious reevaluating. You may have more whims or pipe dreams than real goals, and now is the time to make that discovery. Keep working on your list until you have 16 clearly envisioned, strongly motivating, long-term goals. Review what you've written at times, and keep track of your progress toward these objectives. Above all, persevere. Goal setting is a very important first step, but goal achievement is a continuous, lifelong process. That's what makes it so challenging. That's also why it's so extremely rewarding to finally attain your long-term goals. With regard to immediate goals, those that require anywhere from a day to a year to achieve, I recommend creating lots of objectives that can be accomplished in a month or less. Write them down. Read what you've written at frequent intervals. Keep track of your progress. And do something often that brings you closer to realizing these very short-term objectives. That way, you'll always have something to celebrate.
Some of you, your priorities are out of line, and you're partying right now, and you broke. You broke in your relationships. You broke in your health. Like, for real, you broke. You broke. And you're broke because you're not getting the I. You're not understanding the I. I told you last week, it is about an invention, an idea. If you would get off the couch, stop playing video games, stop murmuring, stop complaining, stop going to a job you don't like. You're about to go to a whole nother level in every area of your life. Talking about the I am.
I am strong. I am equipped. I am confident. I am more than a conqueror.
Don't let your words guide you. Let your actions guide you. Everything you've ever wanted, everything you've ever wanted in life, it's in your idea. It's in your I am. Come on, I am. For I am. After you get off work, just like you invest in them, you need to invest in yourself. And the problem is simple. You're not investing in your I am. Write the idea down and shut up. You ain't got to share your idea with 50 people. You're watching people blow up who had an idea, and they turn that idea into a reality. And not only are they millionaires or billionaires, but they making people millionaires or billionaires. Your success is not determined on just what you say. Write the idea down and boom, get to stepping, baby. Get to the action. You don't get out of life what you want. Raise your level of consciousness. You get out of life who you are. I am the greatest. You haven't convinced you that you need to put the money in so you can get where you're trying to get to. You don't believe that you are. And the very first thing the Creator said was, tell him I am. After you do, pursue. What does that mean? You never get to a place where you chilling. Now your children's children will be satisfied for a marginal life and a marginal marriage. If they see their mom and dad have a marginal anything, they're going to embrace that. Why? Because you can tell people whatever you want to tell them, but people don't live their life based on what you tell them. They live it on based on who you are. This information is going to change your life forever. Like, if you've been here, this information is going to change your life. Find out who you are. Find out what your purpose is in life. Everybody got a dream. Everybody got a goal. Stop dreaming about it. Stop talking about it and get up and do something about it.
What are the two most powerful words in the English language? The two most powerful words in the English language are I am. Because what comes after I am will shape your life. What you speak after, I am. What you believe after, I am, will control your decisions and shape your life. If you believe you are powerful, if you believe you are capable of achieving great things, you will attempt great things. If you speak into your life resilience and determination to overcome anything, you will be ready to face and overcome anything. Let the power of I am shape your life in the most powerful way. What you speak after I am, what you believe after I am, will control your decisions and shape your life. If you believe you are powerful, if you believe you are capable of achieving great things, you will attempt great things. I am powerful. I am strong. I am successful. I am an achiever. I am abundant. I am rich. I am determined. I am focused. I am disciplined. I am health. I am wealth. I am. I am. I am beautiful. I am wise. I am capable of anything. I'm someone who makes things happen. I am a powerful creator. I am filled with faith. I am blessed. I am grateful. I am a miracle. I am connected. I am God. I am more than my body. I am a powerful spirit. I am ready. I am focused. I'm a fighter. I'm more than enough. I'm a winner. I'm a champion. You can't just speak the words. You must feel it. And you must believe it. Repeat them every day. Let them soak into your subconscious. Let the power become one with you. Ali said, I am the greatest, and he became the greatest. Are you ready to be great? I am. I am. Replace I want with I am. Instead of saying I want to be rich, say I am rich. I am wealthy. Say it. Feel it. Feel it until you believe it. I am powerful. I am strong. I am successful. I am abundant. I am rich. I am determined. I am focused. I am disciplined. I am capable of anything. I am a powerful creator. I am limitless. I am. I am. Thoughts are powerful. Thoughts lead to actions. Actions over time become habits. And habits lead to long, lasting results.
Persevere. Nothing worthwhile is easy. No one of achievement has avoided failure, sometimes catastrophic failures, but they keep at it. They learn from mistakes. They don't quit.
The key is what we do in our times of pain. Pain will change us. Heartache, loss, disappointments, they don't leave us the same. You can come out bitter, or you can come out better. You can come out defeated, giving up on your dreams, or you can come out with a new passion, a new fire, excited about the new opportunities in front of you. Don't just go through it, grow through it. That difficulty is an opportunity to get stronger, to develop character, to gain new competence. That pain is not there to stop you, it's there to prepare you, to increase you, to develop you.
You're going to hit a wall. And that wall shocks some people. That wall stuns some people. That wall discouraged some people. It's painful hitting that wall. But some people hit that wall, refuse to be denied. This person comes back anyhow, again and again and again. And then if you keep on hitting that wall, here's what happens to you. That you will have an incredible breakthrough. And it's as if the universe says, let's help him out. Come on. I admire that kind of tenacity. Let's give her a hand. This person doesn't care about the pain because this person knows something. There's no gain without pain.
Everybody talks positive about themselves. Everybody talks like you a beast. You dress like you a beast. But then when it's time to do what beasts do, you back up. You have an excuse. Innovation is rewarded. They give you a plaque for it. They give you a reward for it. Execution is worshipped. Listen to me. There's no excuse. And what will separate those of you from the rest is not what they give you. What's going to separate you is what you do. Listen to me very closely. I want you to know there's only one equation that's missing. There's only one thing you cannot purchase. There's only one thing you cannot buy, and that's what real beasts do. I ain't smart, but the difference between me and most people is you might be sweeter than me. You might be bigger than me. You might grind. Listen to me, I don't know. You might have money. I don't know where you come from, but you will not outwork me. Every single time. This is an opportunity of a lifestyle, and I'm going to take advantage of it.
Today,
working harder on yourself than you do on your job. Because here's what we know. There's no such thing as job security. Here's what we know. The impact of the coronavirus on your ability to stay employed, the impact of the coronavirus has been devastating. Devastating. And this is a time that you have to look at you. You have to learn something new, something that you love, and something that you can get training and coaching on from someone who's experienced and trained in that area to accelerate your growth and credibility and development so that you can have something else going for you other than a job. I want to help you do that. And for those of you who are already there and want to do what those young people do, I like what the young folks, they talk about BYOB, be your own boss. If you're ready, I want you to put voice in the comment section. Put voice in the comment section. I've been thinking about what I'm going to share with you today. And I've been tracing my tracks. People are always asking me, what did you do differently than others, the thousands of other speakers out here that allowed you to become a national and an international voice of motivation and greatness? And part of the process is I decided I wanted something new for myself. I wanted something new for my family. And I wanted to be able to control my own destiny. I didn't want to be a volunteer victim. We've been conditioned, we've been trained for a job. Things have changed. You got to be an entrepreneur now. You want to create something that you can control. You want to create and have something that you determine how much you're worth, not somebody else determining that. And today you have to live life like you mean it. This is no time that things have changed. We've got to change. We've got to change, and with a fierceness, because that's what it is. That the things that are dramatic and the millions of people that are emboldened and determined to hold you down, we've got to be stronger than them and more determined than them. Everybody can use this. What I'm going to talk about today, the value of improving yourself and working on yourself.
That's right, you. And why you are so important in this world. The most important thing you have to remember is that you got to stop trying to be like everybody else. Stop trying to be something that you're not meant to be. Stop trying to force yourself to be like other people. What people are and who they are and what they do, regardless if it's good or bad, that's their life, that's what they do. Now we can absorb that information, we can learn from some of that information, but when it's all said and done, you cannot take away from who you really are. The best thing you can do is make the most of the life that you have been given and push forward and get everything you can get out of it. Because you only have so much time in this world, so you got to make the most of it. Now, this thing about being like other people, we look at people, we see the success stories. Everybody's out here, some anyway, out here getting it in, doing their thing. We don't even really know how they got it, but they got it. But that doesn't necessarily mean that that's for you. You are here in this world for some kind of a reason, some kind of a purpose. Now, what do you do with it? We all want success, but at what cost? There are some sacrifices that you got to make, but don't sell your soul. So get out there and make the most of what you got. It's not going to be easy, I promise you that. Believe me, I know. I'm still trying to figure this thing out. But I'm not going to give up. And I will not sell my soul or sell myself short. But I will continue to work hard at what I have and what God has given me to be the best of me. Now you got to get out there and do the best of you, because nobody's going to do you better than you. You just got to believe in it. Now there are a lot of people out there, there are a lot of motivational speakers out there, fitness guys, you name it. I can't compare myself to them, and I'm sure they don't compare themselves to me. All I can do is be the best of me. Will I make it? I'm looking forward to making it. Am I hopeful? Absolutely. But how much hope can I have? It's all about the doing part and the faith that I have to have. And that's what's going to get me to where I need to be. Will it be easy? Absolutely not. How long it's going to take? Don't know. But I'm still here, and I'm living, and I'm breathing, and I got to keep moving forward. And that's exactly what you got to do. So don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on the reality that you have a purpose in this world. Keep working hard. Dedicate yourself as best you can. Be the best makeup of yourself. Remember, you are here for a reason. Nobody's going to do you better than you, and you were made for who you are.
The work ethic's a big thing, man. Beat the sun up, that's one thing. You know, there's not a formula. It's like, what do you have to do to build a work ethic? Beating the sun up, it's just you'll never feel bad because you beat the sun up. I don't care. You bitch about it the whole morning, all the way up until you finally wake up, and then you're gonna be like, man, I'm sure glad this was awesome. There's something happens before sun's come up that is different, the most different part of the day. It makes you feel good about yourself at the end of the day. On victories, like on victories. I see so many people get sucked into their own victories. And because their work ethic's broken, they don't keep working. They're like, oh, pat on the back. I got my deal. Let's go, let's take a vacation. And you see the destruction of these people. You know, Tom Brady wins the Super Bowl. He that night he's preparing for the next one. The work ethic is just, of all the top people, are so severe. So should be something that's great. It's a great first question. Could be a whole book. Because one of the things, and the last thing I'll say on this is, this helps me, by the way, just you asking me this, really, the whole thing helps me. The work ethic thing is, it's also so that you start pushing whoever you're in a space with and you're competing with, you know, you want to do some flexing. And the flexing doesn't have to be the car, because you can't just keep buying cars. You can flex work ethic. There's no budget. You can't go broke on it. It's never going to be bad for you. It might bother your spouse. Kids, it's never going to bother the kids. Don't kid yourself. The kids want you just enough, and then they're done. They're like, okay, get out of here. So that whole thing, they played this thing out in the 80s, I think, you know, oh, kids need quantity at the time. Kids just need a quality time. They don't want 3 hours. No kid wants 3 hours of their day. Maybe yours does, not mine does. Am I right on this? I only have 2 kids, so I don't know. And at 17, 18 years old, they're not gonna want any of my time. And then they'll come back around later when they want money. And I'll be like, go get your own money. But the work ethic, you know, I do a lot of flexing on the work ethic thing to tell people where I've been, where I'm going, how much I'm going, what I'm doing. It's not for customers. It's for my staff, and it's for the competition, for anybody that thinks they're competition. And we're convinced I'm the most disliked speaker in the space by our contemporaries.
If the person is entrepreneurial and they ask me this question, I always tell them, you know, you've got to take care of your kids, you got to pay the bills. And I said, but, you know, tell me when you work. And they tell me, well, you know, I work, 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 and I'm exhausted and everything else. I said, well, what are you doing with the other 8 hours? Because that's what I did. I worked as a janitor all night long, middle of the night, everything else. I could compress time there because it was based on results, not time. So if I could do a great job in shorter time, I had that time. But then, what I start doing between, 7 o'clock at night and 2 in the morning, which is pretty much the time I worked, that's when I was developing myself, getting the skills, learning, educating, starting the business. So I think people just have to realize it's a gut-wrenching process. It's not, entrepreneurship is not for everybody. Most people fail in entrepreneurship. The vast majority fail. 96% in 10 years, but what happens after 10 years? All clear sailing after that? Anybody remember Lehman Brothers? They ran a century. They had gross revenues over a century of more than $1 trillion with a T dollars. That's what went through their bank accounts over that century, and they're gone. So I don't think it's right for everybody. I think you have to really be clear, is your personality the right personality if you're going to begin in this area? And then if you're going to work for somebody else, you can still become financially free, but that means you got to stop being a consumer and become an owner of under entrepreneurs. You want to own businesses, right? Get out of just being, don't just own an iPhone, own the company. And not just Apple, obviously. But
how do you keep your energy up and your enthusiasm up?
How
do you do it?
I'm wired for it. It's my nature to some extent, but also the other part is I get to see results. I mean, who here has been touched by my work before? I'm curious. Anybody in this room? So look around the room and I just, how's it hard to be inspired when I'm in a room and a third or 40% or 50% have used my work? And so people come up to me every day, dozens of people a day if I'm traveling, and they tell me the most amazing stories. Outside my children and my wife, that's probably the greatest gift of my life. I never get tired of hearing it, and it just makes me want to deliver more, give more, have more impact.
You get the last word. Tell them what you want them to know.
Well, if you're entrepreneurs out there, here's what I'd say to you. I'd say, don't be so damn hard on yourself. I know that sounds counter to being an achiever, but when you're beating yourself up, you're sucking out the energy you need to move forward. It's kind of like, I always tell people there's so much energy, and I've built mine. I do a lot of things to build my energy to be incredibly strong and have really strong endurance, because to me, energy is life. We're going to talk in this session about the exact formula for what creates long-term happiness, what creates unhappiness, what creates suffering, and what the antidotes are, of which there's only 3. How do I know this? I've had the privilege of being with 4 million people now from 100 countries around the world in live seminars, and I've seen everything you can imagine. I mean, from the most successful people in the world to the singularly most challenged people you could possibly imagine. I've dealt with people with multiple personality disorders, 52 different personalities, and how to put them back together. And I've dealt with people with no personality who have a much bigger problem. No matter what the diversity of people I've dealt with and the diversity you've seen in this show, the ultimate question I'm always asking is, how do I help people to break through? The question is, what are you breaking through to? In essence, all of us at some level to feel alive have to always feel like we're growing. When people ask me, what does it take to be happy? I always tell them one word: progress. Progress equals happiness. Even if you're not where you want to be yet, if you're on the road, if you're improving, if you're making progress, you're going to love it. You're going to feel alive. On the other hand, it doesn't matter how successful you are. If you stop growing, you start dying inside. Now, how does this relate to this session on breakthrough? Well, I'll say it's really simple. If you and I want to know what it takes to be happy, we have to understand what is our current blueprint of how our life's supposed to be. Now, what do I mean by blueprint? Well, we have a story in our head of how life's supposed to be. Some people's story is you work hard in school, you become really great, you're a nice person, you're a good person, and then you grow up and you take care of yourself and you find the ideal man and you fall in love and you have a white picket fence and you have 3 perfect children and you live happily ever after. Somebody else's story, the old story was you work really hard in school, you excel in college, you go to work for a big corporation, and you move up through the ranks until you're the president or chairman of the company and you become successful and respected throughout life. These are some old stories. Obviously, the stories that we hear today of what people's lives are supposed to be like are completely diverse. We no longer have these little archetypes, but one archetype still seems to remain. And that archetype is, in order for you to really feel like you're enough, many people believe they have to achieve an enormous amount. They may do it in different ways. They may do it by building a company and taking it public when they're 27 or 25 years old, or they find and create a new technology, or they become a very special doctor. But we live in a culture in the West that teaches people that you're not enough unless you do something really special and unique, and we define special and unique in interesting ways. A school teacher is not special and unique. A mother who stays home with her children day and night, sculpting their minds, their bodies, their souls, and their future is not special. We live in a world today where we treat teachers like they're nobody and pay them accordingly, and we wonder why our children seem to have challenges in learning and growing or being engaged in school. We spend thousands of dollars on some item like a computer, but what we look at overall, we invest in for the teacher and for that person who's the personal connection with them is so small. We live in a society where many women look down and say, well, you're just a housewife, you're just a mother. See, some of the pain we have in our society is not because there's one right or one wrong approach, but because we try to make everybody fit into some particular approach to life. Here's what's going to make you happy or make you unhappy in life. It's real simple. Let's do a quick test. If you're in a situation right now where you look at your life, I know there's an area of your life that you probably feel pretty darn good about. Even if you're not happy with your finances, I bet you feel damn good close to your kids. Or if you're not close to your kids, maybe you don't have any kids, maybe you feel really good about your career. If you're doing not so good in your career, maybe you got a really great body that you've trimmed down or strengthened up, or you really shaped yourself the way you want, muscularly, or in the way you look. Or if that's not happening, maybe you feel a really special connection with God, or really close to your mother or father or your family, whatever. Almost everybody has an area of their life they feel really good about if they're honest and if they're fair to themselves. What's an area of your life you really feel happy about? I want you to think about it for a moment, truthfully. What's an area in your life today that if you wanted to be happy about it, you really could feel proud about it? You could feel like it's an area you're doing darn well in.
And ladies and gentlemen, as a result of stretching out, of acting on my dream, and I don't know what that dream is for you, I can tell you that it's possible. No one could have convinced me that after just over 6 years, I will have my own book entitled Live Your Dreams. Just over 6 years, I would have 5 specials on public television. Just over 6 years, I've done motivational speaking for AT&T, Procter & Gamble, McDonald's Corporation, Xerox, IBM. Just over 6 years. I will now have my own talk show that will premiere on Monday, Labor Day. I'm saying to you, your dream is possible. Your dream is possible. But not only is it important that you believe and begin to know that it's possible for you to live your dream as you run toward it, but I've done something that I want to share with you called Choosing Your Future. In fact, I've developed a set of tapes talking about how to begin to create your own reality by choosing your future. And not only is it important for you to know it's possible for you to choose your future, but it's necessary that you work on yourself, that you develop yourself. It's necessary that you get the energy drainers out of your life, people who don't want anything. It's necessary to know that everybody won't see it, that everybody won't join you, that everybody won't have the vision. It's necessary to know that a lot of people like to complain, but they don't want to do anything about their situation. That you are an uncommon breed. You know, you have to know within yourself that I can do this. Even if no one else sees it for me, I must see it for myself. That's necessary. It's also, ladies and gentlemen, necessary that you be creative when you're working on your ideas. That you understand the importance of changing up, of readjusting your strategies. Many times we can have a great idea, but if you're not advancing it in the right way and things don't happen, you become discouraged and think the idea doesn't work. No, that's not true. It's necessary that we become creative. I remember when I was in New York walking down the street and a guy approached me and said, "Hey, mister, can I shine your shoes?" And I said, "No, I'm in a hurry. I don't have time." I kept walking. Someone else said, "Hey, man, your shoes look clutty. May I shine your shoes?" I said, "No, I don't have time. I'm sorry, I'm busy." And I was walking fast, and many people solicited me for my business. And then finally, a young man stepped in front of me, and he said, "Excuse me." And he started counting, 97, 98, 99, 100. He said, "Sir?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Come here, please." I said, "What is it?" He said, "Today is my birthday. And every year, just to thank God for another year of life, the 100th person who passes my shoe shine stand, I offer them a free shoe shine. Would you give me the honors?" I said, "Why, sure." I got up on the shoe shine stand, George, and I sat there, and he shined my shoes diligently. And when I got down, I looked at them, they were sparkling. And I was walking away, and I said, "Thank you." And I stopped, I said, "Excuse me, but how much do you usually charge?" He said, "Only $2. I said, "I tell you what, today's your birthday. Here's $5, keep the change." He said, "Thank you." As I was walking away, looking in the opposite direction at other people coming, he started counting again. 97, 98, 99, 100. It's necessary that you be flexible,
that you are always thinking of how can I improve this better.
The summer's called challenging time. In the summer, we've got two things going for us. One is opportunity, but the other is to watch out for your enemies. Nourish your values in the spring, in the summer. Like a mother, nourish the values. Distributors you've got, make sure that they get plenty of nourishment from you, plenty of training from you, plenty of understanding from you. Don't be short, don't be careless. Give them your best, like a mother would give the best to her child. Give them the best you've got. Just because they're not part of your immediate family, they're a part of your Herbalife family. They deserve the best nourishment you've got. Don't shortchange them on food that'll help them to grow. Don't shortchange them on information that will help them to learn. Don't shortchange them on ideas that'll help them to transform their lives. Be like a mother in the summer and give the best you've got to everybody you can reach and everybody you can touch. It's called opportunity in the making. Be careful of those around you. Even when your check comes from Herbalife. You say, well, Herbalife sends my check. Well, here's what you've got to understand. It's not the 13th floor that sends you your check. It's not the computer that sends you your check. Some live human being had to make it possible for that money to finally get to you. So remember, it's human beings that make our lives valuable. It's not systems, it's not numbers in the marketing, it's not computers, it's not the printout, it's not points, and it's not royalties. What makes us all rich beyond our wildest imagination is people. So be mindful of investing in the summer in every person you can possibly invest in. They will make you wealthy.